Okay, healer tier list. The 14 healer tier list is meant to guide you on which member of this savior style job is right for you. Group content just isn't possible without proper healers. And while players in some communities shy away from their responsibility, 14 offers incentives like bonus tombstones to get players healing. Thankfully, in the build up to Endwalker, healers are a great spot right now. They are all entirely viable while offering something unique. They better be too, since we haven't had a new 14 healer to grace this tier list since the original Heavensward expansion. Oh God, this guy made a fucking tier list for Heavensward. That's finally changing in Endwalker alongside the basic of healing in general by the sound of it. But for the time being, you can't go wrong without a Scholar, White Mage, and Astrologian. Astro, S tier. Okay, Astro is pretty fucking good. In terms of potential power, the Astrologian can't be beat. At least not until the Sage and Endwalker balance changes mix up the meta. I'm pretty sure this guy don't even know what meta means, but anyway, this is the most flexible healer of the bunch, capable of swapping between both raw and barrier style healing available to Scholar and White Mage. It's generally best to have both whenever possible. Amidst it all, the Astronomancer also provides lovely damage buffs for the entire party. Veteran 14 players often put a premium on quick completion of early to mid game. Dude, what does this mean? Veteran 14 players often put a premium on quick completion of early to mid-game. Like, I'm a veteran player. It never like occurs. Like I just do the content. I mean, yeah, sure, I want to do it fast, but I wouldn't go as far as to say I put a premium on it. Like, yo, if we clear this fast, I'll give all 3 of you a fucking blowjob. I'm not, you know, I don't care that much. Duty roulettes and such. This makes Astro a very flexible and potent job for the high level content and useful for when you're mindlessly grinding. It's also very fun, active, and uniquely flavored, meaning it's almost never boring to play. Okay, so like this guy started off pretty good actually. In terms of potential power, the Astrologian can't be beat. He mentions capable of swapping between both raw and barrier style healing. This is really good. This right here is actually a pretty good portion. But then right here, this is just really fucking stupid. This put a premium on early completion. What if you play an Astro and you just suck gigacock? You know what I mean? You just suck. Then obviously the White Mage is gonna make it go by faster. So I think that's stupid. This makes Astro a very flexible and potent job for high level content and useful for when you're mindlessly grinding. It's also very fun. This is subjective as fuck. It's also very fun, active, and uniquely flavored, meaning it's almost never boring to play. There are some downsides. The Astrologian is cursed with being a class introduced via the Heavens. What? You can no, okay. You cannot ding a class because it wasn't a part of a Realm Reborn. That's stupid. You can't even use main scenario roulette or the more wait, what? Okay, you can't even use the main scenario roulette or the more productive Beast Tribe quest to ride it back to level 50. It's a punishing slog for new players, but not really a problem with the job, so much design of the game. No, this is fucking dumb. Dude, you can't complain about a job coming out in an expansion that wasn't there in the previous expansion. What? No shit, it's not in a Realm Reborn. It came out in Heavensward. One actual, wait, whoa, wait a minute. So he starts this paragraph off with, there are some downsides, ... And then he completely, this whole paragraph, he basically says, this sentence right here, one actual issue with itself is complexity. So in this one single sentence, he basically says, hey, I have no fucking idea what that second paragraph was talking about. Just fucking ignore it. The job has been significantly simplified since its introduction, as have most 14 classes. Significantly simplified? Anyway, yet it still requires more rote memorization than the other healers on this tier list. The Astrologian draws magic cards to apply its damage buffs, and you need to know at a glance which card provides the most benefit to which players. It's not as complex as, say, remembering the various ninja. Oh, dude, this guy struggled with Mudras. Remember that? Is it significantly easier, though? See, I don't think so. I mean, maybe we have a different understanding of the word significant. Now, I don't like the card system now. I mean, it is easier now, but like way fucking like less options. You don't have any options anymore. And is that easier? Yes, but a lot of times you just fish for balance anyway. I guess I'm disputing the use of the word. I don't think it was significantly simplified. I do think it's easier now, but I think it's easier in a different way. Maybe if the card's like auto-deployed or something, then yeah, sure. I feel like easier isn't the best way to describe it. I feel like that the options shrank. So that naturally created it being easier. Maybe I'm just looking too deep into this. It's probably just me. I just feel like that the job has been significantly simplified. I personally wouldn't explain it like this, I guess. I guess I personally wouldn't explain it like this. Anyway, okay. It's not as complex as say, okay, the Ninja Mudras, okay, it just takes some practice. And that's stressful when you are literally the lifeline of your team and a group content. At the same time, the potential power of the Astrologian puts it in the top slot. This person that made this review really needed a clear set of rules, because like when people do these reviews, I think it's very important to have a clear set of rules. What do I mean by a clear set of rules? I mean like this: 1, flexibility; 2, difficulty; 3, power. You know, I feel like that it needed a set of rules. And I feel like this person just kind of like just didn't do any of that. So Astrologian is in S tier. He does have some good stuff here, I will say. I went into this article. I went into all these articles. Whenever I read a review about Final Fantasy XIV, I always go into it with kind of like a playful mindset. Like, I'm not going to take it too serious, because there's a very, very high chance that the person writing the article has no fucking clue what they're talking about. But at the same time, it is kind of funny. And it's funny to me because it's extremely obvious, right? Like with the Paladin, he mentioned a passive buff, which it's funny because I don't even know what that is. But I don't want to like purposely go out of my way and be an asshole just to nitpick. So that's why I do like pointing out things that are good. Like the S tier, this is a really good like chunk right here. But like this is really fucking weird right here. This is really weird. Why is this even in here? Just fucking cross this shit out. And then this is weird too. I guess Astro is S tier because of this paragraph, which does make a lot of sense. The potential power of the Astrologian. Okay, so those are good reasons why it's S, but I think a majority of this is fucking scuffed as fuck. If this article is aimed at newer or casual players, then they're gonna get debated. All right, let's see. Okay, Scholar, A+ tier. The margin between 14 healers is pretty slim. That's why the Scholar gets a little plus sign next to its A rank on the tier list. There's barely a difference in efficiency between any of these jobs. The Scholar gets a special nod in the middle of the pack for being fun and unique, as well as providing more beloved utility for group. Okay, so the Scholar gets a special nod for being fun and unique. Chain Stratagem is a great support ability. Okay, here's where I disagree. Do you guys really consider Battle Litany, Chain Stratagem, Trick Attack support abilities? I don't. It's a DPS raid buff. When I think of support ability, I think of like, I don't know, the thing that makes all your healing crit, whatever. I think of like Excog. I think of like Lustrate, you know, actual supporting, like a raid buff maybe. Damage is not support, man. Damage is something different. At least that's what I think. Let's just change the name. Chain Stratagem is a great DPS ability that increases critical hit rates against the target for a short time. Again, with the same thing with Battle Litany, this person needs to say critical hit chance, not rates, because there is a difference. I don't mean to be that fucking guy that, you know, actually, you know, I don't mean to be that guy, but if it increased critical hit rates, then it would be like fucking poggers for inner release. That benefits the entire team without forcing you to take your eye off healing. In fact, there's a bit of an awkward push and pull in 14 community regarding just how much damage healers are expected to dish out. Ooh. Okay. Some teams prefer a player who speeds up content, particularly mid-range dungeons, by being a powerhouse. Okay, I want to know what team prefers a slow healer. Are there any teams in the chat that prefer a slow healer? Because I don't think so. Others just want the support player to keep everyone alive. The mark of a truly good healer is knowing when the team really needs which, and when someone in party chat doesn't know what the... What? The mark of a truly good healer is knowing when the team really needs which? Oh, he's referring to greed versus not greed. And when someone in the party chat doesn't know what they're talking about. The mark of a good healer is when someone in the party chat doesn't know what they're talking about? What? Scholars are technically the pet class in MMO parlance. This means they have a tiny fairy friend who does stuff for them, though the pet management has been heavily simplified compared to the base game, turning your fairy mostly into a source of passive healing that provides a small safety net. If you get distracted dealing damage or just get overwhelmed, then your fairy will have your back. There's a subtle sort of comfort that comes from never feeling alone too. That's unique to the job of this type. Yo, let me ask you guys a question. Seriously. If you could get rid of that fucking fairy and assuming that your passive shit happened, would you do it? Because I hate that fucking fairy. That's why I don't play the job. There's a bit of added complexity to the Scholar which balances out the passive pet healing. This is a barrier healer, which relies more on laying down defensive spells that absorb damage, as opposed to just casting Benediction over and... What the fuck? This keeps the job from feeling completely mindless? You need to learn and memorize boss patterns to be completely effective, otherwise you'll be too late to use half your skills effectively. I'm pretty sure that if you could cast Benediction over and over again, every white mage in this chat right now would just come. I'm like 99.9% sure. Please, if I'm wrong, someone tell me that I'm wrong. Can you imagine spamming every GCD, you just Benediction something? Every GCD, you just Benediction, Benediction. You're just blowing your Benedictions all over the fucking party. As opposed to just casting Benediction over and over again. You don't even cast it. It's an ability, you fucking idiot. This keeps job from feeling completely mindless. Okay, you'll need to learn, memorize. This makes for fun balance of challenge and comfort. Okay, so Scholar is A because you do defensive spells that absorb damage instead of just casting Benediction over and over again. You have a fairy that never makes you feel alone. And you have Chain Stratagem. Oh, and the mark of a truly good healer is knowing when the team needs DPS and healing and when someone in party chat doesn't know what they're talking about. So the mark of a good healer, one of the marks of good healer is when someone in party chat doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's how you know you're a good healer. That's why Scholar's A. Oh. Yo, he didn't give a fuck about White Mage. Look how short this is. A tier. White Mage throws all that stuff about balancing damage and healing. This is currently the one pure healer of 14, freeing it up to deal lots of damage for its role. It also has the skill Holy, an area of effect damage spell that comes with a stun. While not technically a barrier, this does effectively function as one during non-boss. This is actually super good. Wow, I'm impressed. I'm genuinely impressed that this sentence is in this review. This is really good. No, this is serious. This is really good. Because a lot of people don't know this. You know the shit healers that go into like dungeons and shit to just spam heal you? Well, if you go in and just spam Holy, everything's stunned. So it's effectively like nothing is dealing damage. I'm blown away that this person mentioned this. The monsters can't hurt your tank if they can't attack. The ethos continues throughout the White Mage job as it has the highest personal damage output of any healer in 14. There's honestly very little else to say about White Mage. They heal good and kill good. They're also the easiest healer to wrap your head around, although I wouldn't recommend it as a first class for a beginner to play. The reason being that for all its explosive power, White Mage is pretty dull to DPS with in early game. That's every job. It doesn't get that much more interesting later, but the dungeons and the group content do, giving you more to do than just cast the same couple of damage spells through story missions. On the other hand, White Mage is fantastic for first-time healers. It's easy to learn with a great get out of deep shit free card in the form of a full heal. Mid-level group content also flies by with a White Mage, making it great for grinding and helping friends to do the same.